The wind cut sharp that winter morning, carrying with it the scent of snow and the promise of harsher days still to come. The fields lay bare and silent, the furrows frozen hard, the trees stripped of their leaves, and the farmer trudged through the frost with his cloak wrapped tightly around his shoulders. His breath clouded before him as he walked, his boots crunching over ice-crusted earth. He had been out since dawn, checking his fences, seeing to the animals, doing all the small, wearying chores that kept his farm alive even in the cruelest season. His fingers ached from the cold, and he longed to return to the fire in his cottage, to the warmth of his wife's bread baking on the hearth. But before he could turn back, his eyes caught something lying at the edge of the path. At first he thought it was a stick, black and stiff against the snow. But as he drew closer, he saw scales glinting faintly in the pale light. It was a snake, long and motionless, its body stiffened with cold. Its eyes were closed, its tongue stilled. For a moment the farmer thought it dead, but then he noticed the faintest shiver of breath, the slightest twitch of muscle. The creature was not gone, only frozen, hovering on the edge between life and death. The farmer stood over it, frowning. A snake, he knew, was no friend to man. Its bite carried venom, and its nature was cunning. More than once he had driven snakes from his barn to keep his hens safe. His first instinct was to leave it there, to let the frost finish what it had begun. Yet another thought tugged at him, soft but insistent. Here was a living creature, helpless and suffering. Was it not his duty, as a man of the earth, to show mercy? "If I leave it," he muttered to himself, "I am no better than the cold that kills it." So, against his better judgment, he bent down and scooped the snake into his arms. Its body was icy, limp, its head lolling weakly. The farmer tucked it beneath his cloak, pressing it against the warmth of his chest. As he walked back toward the cottage, he could feel it stir faintly, life returning to its frozen flesh. He told himself he had done the right thing, that kindness was never wasted, that perhaps even a snake might show gratitude. When he reached home, he laid the snake gently near the hearth, where the fire crackled and spat. His wife gasped when she saw it. "What madness is this?" she cried. "Have you brought a snake into our home? Cast it out before it brings harm." But the farmer shook his head. It was near death. "I could not leave it to freeze. A good deed is never wasted." His wife looked at him with worry but said no more, for she knew his heart was stubborn once set. The snake lay still at first, its body thawing in the warmth, its eyes fluttering open. Slowly it lifted its head, the firelight gleaming off its scales. The farmer knelt beside it, speaking softly. "There, you are safe now. Rest and recover. I ask nothing in return." He reached out a cautious hand as though to stroke it, but in that instant, the snake's eyes sharpened, its tongue flicked, and its fangs struck. Pain seared through the farmer's arm as the snake buried its venom in his flesh. He cried out, stumbling back, the firelight spinning before his eyes. His wife screamed, rushing to his side, but the farmer could already feel the poison burning through his veins. He looked at the snake, now coiled strong and fierce by the hearth, its body restored, its gaze unrepentant. "Why?" the farmer gasped, clutching his arm. "I saved you from death. I gave you warmth, I gave you life again. Why repay me with this?" The snake's voice hissed low, curling through the crackle of the fire. "You knew what I was when you lifted me from the snow. You knew my nature, yet you chose to trust me. Do not blame me for being true to myself. Blame yourself for the folly of expecting kindness from one whose heart holds none." The farmer's breath came ragged, his strength fading as the venom spread. His wife wept beside him, her cries filling the small cottage. And with his last strength, the farmer whispered, "Mercy given to the wicked is wasted, and pity for the ungrateful brings only sorrow." Then he fell silent, his body still. The snake slipped away into the shadows, leaving behind only silence and grief. Word of the farmer's fate spread quickly through the village, and the people shook their heads with heavy hearts. They told the story to their children, passing it from one generation to the next. For it was a warning carved deep by tragedy. that kindness is a virtue, but it must be tempered with wisdom, that to give mercy blindly to those who will only use it for harm is to dig your own grave. And so the tale endured, whispered by firesides and repeated in fields, carried in the hearts of those who heard it. Beware of helping those whose very nature is to destroy, for no warmth will change a snake's fangs, and no mercy will soften a venomous heart.